participants. Secondly, we have Mr. Samuel Ngambwachi, who is the Managing Director of Fay Consults Limited. Mr. Samuel, if you can please just say good morning to our graduates before we proceed.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mariam. I very glad to be here. I was trying to also make sure I have the permission from the host to unmute. So glad to be here. Glad to meet the graduates, and hope we have very fruitful and good conversations this morning. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Samuel. I think that actually the issue of the network was on my side. I thought it was you. Thank you very much. I'd also like, I don't know if the last person I'm introducing is UNAPSEC President, Mr. James Wanolonya. I don't know if he has joined the webinar yet. I would need confirmation maybe from Mike. Do we have our president here yet?
The president is not yet on, but he will join us along the way.
All right, perfect. Yes, so those are the key people who are going to be sharing our wisdom with us on this webinar. I would like to proceed with I'd like to proceed by I think it's time to dive into, but before we dive into the webinar, let me just talk briefly about this graduate training program, because I think there is need for that, and I hope I don't go into what Mike is supposed to do, but I felt that it is necessary for me to speak a bit about it and maybe give you a brief background about UNAPSEC. Now, for those who don't know, UNAPSEC is the Uganda National Association of Builders, Suppliers, and Engineering Contractors. And I must point out that we recently celebrated our 30-year anniversary in the industry. With a big bang, we had the USIFE 2023. I'm sure many of you heard and saw what happened last year in December. An event which was graced by the Vice President of Uganda. So we are a non-profit and non-political member-driven association, and we have currently a membership of over 450 contractors, genuine contractors in the industry. So in a bid to support youth employability and promote skills development, we initiated the graduate training program in 2019 to offer practical experiences and opportunities for training for the final year students and the fresh graduates in the construction engineering related courses. Now, this program aims at empowering tomorrow's contractors, because we hope that not all of you are going to be employed. Some of you will actually become contractors in a few years to come. And some of you will actually also become very great employees to benefit your employers. So we believe that these early experiences give you, the graduates, an important stepping stone into your careers and help to produce the right professionals for the construction industry, because this is a challenge that most employers complain about. That's why you see the whole this webinar has been named Employability Skills for the 21st Century, because we want to help graduates understand and learn how to blend in, and how the workspace is when you get out of school, because we have so many of our fresh graduates getting challenges when they step out there, and also the employers, on the other hand, complaining that what they see on paper meaning the results, maybe first class students, is not what they are getting in their workplaces. So the first three intakes of our program have seen a number of graduates taken up by member companies for training, majority of whom have been retained as permanent employees, and others are actually still under training. For those who really want to know more about other people's experiences who have passed through this program, you can feel free to go to our website, www.unapsec.co.ug, to learn about different people's experiences, success stories from this program. So this current intake is the fourth intake of the program, and we have shortlisted 140 qualifying graduates. And in these, we have diploma holders and also people who have bachelor's degree in different fields. We have civil, we have mechanical, electrical, construction management, water engineering, QS, land surveying, environmental engineering. We also have actually automotive and power engineering. So we have quite many different professions in here. So how is this program implemented, you might ask? At the end of each academic year, UNAPSEC invites applications from eligible finalists and fresh graduates for this opportunity. After that, the successful applicants, in this case, everyone who's on this webinar, are oriented by UNAPSEC through a 3-hour work readiness webinar, which we are carrying out at this very moment. And this webinar is aimed at equipping you, the graduates, with soft skills and preparing you for the world of work. After that, a database of these successfully shortlisted applicants is available to our members, our UNAPSEC members, so that they can select the candidates of their choice. And then after this, candidates are encouraged to update the secretariat when they are taken up by a company. This enables the secretariat to mark that particular candidate so that we can avoid different companies choosing the same person. Yes, it also enables the association to follow up on you, the graduates' well-being, while you're working with our member companies. These member companies are what we term as the host companies, because they are the ones who take you up. But the host company determines the duration of your training and other terms and conditions that UNAPSEC is not party to that. But I must point out that there are actually high chances of being offered full-time employment by host companies upon good performance during your training, of course. And upon request, the association, together with the host company, can provide recommendation letters to the trainees after they've successfully completed their training. So that's a plus for the graduates that are on this program. Having a recommendation letter for you from UNAPSEC is quite heavy for you, and I'm sure there is no employer who wouldn't be impressed by that. However, I would like to point out a disclaimer on two issues. First, being shortlisted by UNAPSEC does not guarantee that the candidates will be absorbed into the host companies under any circumstances. Why? Because the host company reserves the right to select the candidates of their choice. We do not influence which candidate is taken up by which company. So we leave it to our member companies to decide who, based on whatever criteria they want. And secondly, this program is completely free of charge. Therefore, both applicants and host companies will pay no charges to UNABSEC officials to access this service. So as you, the applicants, please don't expect anyone to ask you for money from UNABSEC in order to participate in this program. We do not do that. Neither do we make our member companies pay for this. This is basically to bridge that, to solve that challenge of having graduates facing challenges when they go out into the employment after school, and also having our member companies having to train so much these graduates and make them learn new things in the employment side. So that being said, I would like to invite Mr. Mike Serunkuma, our programs manager for UNABSEC, who will be giving us some remarks on behalf of the executive director, Mrs. Elizabeth Muhewa, who hasn't managed to be with us here. Mr. Mike, please, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Mariam. Maybe before I start with the speech, I wanted to inform you that the president is in the room.
Oh,
you had wanted to recognize him.
Yes, Mr. President, you're very welcome. Could you please give us the order of at least saying good morning to our participants before we proceed?
Good morning, Madam Mariam. Good morning, Mike and the entire team. I am glad to see the number that is here, that is getting ready for the workspace. I am certainly very optimistic of there tomorrow. The choice that you have made to prepare yourself in itself to become ready for the workplace, I think that's a great choice. So I really wish you all the very best as you go through this moment. God bless you all. See you later.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. That is Mr. James Wan Olonia, who is the president of UNABSEC. Thank you very much for those words. I'd like to give the floor back to Mr. Mike Serunkuma. Before I give Mike back the floor, to our applicants, I'd like to encourage you to have your notebooks and your pens ready. And as we proceed, please feel free to note down anything that is not clear, any questions that you might have, because at the end, we are going to have a Q&A session where we expect to hear from you. And our key people here will be ready to answer your questions to your satisfactions. So that being said, Mr. Mike, please proceed.
Thank you so much, our moderator. Good morning, everyone. Mike Serunkuma is my name. I work as the programs manager of UNABSEC, but today I'm representing the executive director, Mrs. Elizabeth Muhewa, who is currently on leave. And in her absence, I'm tasked with the honor of delivering her meticulously crafted speech, which she especially prepared for this webinar. Allow me to present her address verbatim. The president of UNABSEC, Mr. James Olonia, our moderator and board member, Ms. Mariam Namia, our guest speaker, Mr. Samuel Ngambwachi, our successfully shortlisted candidates on this online meeting. Good morning to you all, and I welcome you to the webinar. As the moderator rightly said, UNABSEC in full is Ugandan National Association of Builders, Suppliers and Engineering Contractors. We are formally known as the Uganda National Association of Building and Civil Engineering Contractors, a name we changed last year as we celebrated our 30th anniversary. The change of name was aimed at making the organization inclusive of all stakeholders in the construction contracting sector. I wish to start by congratulating the fresh graduates and finalists on this call for having been successfully shortlisted to be part of our fourth cohort of the graduate training program. We have gathered here today in this work readiness webinar to specifically orient you on what the UNABSEC graduate training program is all about, and also to equip you with the necessary employability skills you will need as you join the employment world, especially in this 21st century. Our moderator has already talked about what the UNABSEC graduate training program is and how it is implemented. So allow me to skip that part. I'll not go into it. Any questions you will ask, and a clarification will be given. About today's webinar, we have the privilege of hosting one of Uganda's best life coaches, who is Mr. Samuel Ngambwachi. He's going to talk to you about the employability skills that you will need to have to survive in this 21st century as an employee. I urge you to pay close attention to his facilitation, because I believe this will help you as you join the employment world. We also created a WhatsApp group for all the participants under this cohort, through which we shall be passing on necessary communication to you in regards to this program. Feel free to ask questions on that platform, or share any experiences that you will get as a trainee under this program. Our officers will be on standby to attend to you. I also encourage you to always update us when selected, to enable us to update the database, to follow up on you, and also for subsequent engagements. Lastly, I invite you to follow us on our social media handle, is now called X, on Facebook. We are also on LinkedIn and TikTok and YouTube to keep updated on the association activities. I wish you a very fruitful webinar and best wishes. Over to you, Madam Moderator.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Mike. That was well delivered, and thank you for representing our ED very well. I would like to, at this juncture, to invite Mr. Samuel Ngambwachi. He's going to be taking us through the gist of this webinar. And the topic, if I may remind all of us, is employability skills for the 21st century. And I must say, there is no better person to speak about this. This gentleman is the CEO of Fay Consult, and he's also a people and culture coach. So whatever he says, please be very attentive, because I'm sure these are things that are going to impact you not only now, but for a lifetime. We are very honored to have you, Mr. Samuel, and we can't wait to hear and pick and receive from your wisdom. So, Mr. Samuel, I invite you and I give you the floor right now to share some words of wisdom with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mariam. Thank you, the UNABSEC Secretariat. Allow me to switch on my video just for a few seconds. So just that we are sure, at least it's not robotic science that we are engaged into most of these days. To you, President James Olonya, Mariam, who also happens to be a board member, once again, the UNABSEC Secretariat, and the graduate trainees that are on call this morning. It is our singular honor at Fay Consult to come and share spaces and conversations with you, mostly involving on a journey that you are taking and you are yet to take. A journey that is calling you to make this world a better place in terms of career development, but also your contribution to humanity, because at the end of the day, the workspace you're coming into is simply to make this place that we live in a happy place. Once again, it is to say, it feels good when organizations invest in seeing young people grow to become better people, mostly in their professional life. So I really, really also want to add my voice to the NABSEC team for thinking about these graduate trainees. And to you, the graduate trainees, there are some things you will never learn in class. And you're going to find them in spaces like this. And you will realize that they will impact heavily, but most importantly, productively and effectively as you come into the workspace. There is a lot of ideals that you probably come with as young people in terms of expectations. You are yet to meet the reality of the ideals that you've had in your mind. And when these realities hit you the moment you step in the workplace, the soft skills conversation we are going to have today is what you will exactly need for the 21st century workplace. I can tell you that I don't doubt any of you who is on this call to be of high intellectual conscience. You have gone through primary school, passed, gone through university, passed, gone through secondary school, passed, and that's why you're here. Some of you are probably A-class students all through. Some of you have even probably performed much way better than how some of us performed when we were in the spaces where you're in now. So there is no doubt that your intelligence can be rivaled into. And kudos to you for finding foot and focusing on education, and not just acquiring that education, but in the next few days or months or years, being able to translate that education into great responsibilities as men and women of God is going to be a journey that we all await to see. Having said that the intellectual conscience cannot be doubted, soft skills, on the other note, are traits that we must hone and shape every single day. There is no person who says, I have reached the maximum growth of honing my skills as long as they are still alive. I have had spaces on top of having conversations within UNAPSEC to also be in many organizations, some where you aim to work, some that will certainly become partners in your workspace. But I've also met people that we have looked at as our mentors, both in maturity, in age, and in profession, learning and still honing their skills, even in their days of maturity, as old as 70 and 80 and 60 and 50 and beyond. So I would wish you to start these conversations by having that positive mindset that your mind and your growth is unlimited. It's unlimited, it is limitless. Only you, only you, only you can limit your growth. Only you can limit your growth. How I pray you don't become among any of those that years later in life you decry or you cry that you never allowed yourself to grow. I will now switch on my video for the sake of the bandwidth and then delve into the presentation we have this morning. I don't know if Mike is able to share from his end. He has a presentation right with him. As I also wait for that presentation to certainly be shared, our topic today is skills, soft skills for employability in the 21st century. The soft skills for employability. Here we are going beyond the skills for studying and for passing exams and all that. No, we are talking about the employability skills for the 21st century. Skills that are going to give you an edge in growth, an edge in being a better person, an edge in performance, and an edge in living a better life. And the first question is, what are soft skills? Soft skills are proficiencies that are related to communication, personality traits, social clues, and behavioral habits. Wish you can scroll to that page, Mike. Soft skills, probably that before we get into that. Okay, I'll come back to that quote as we finish. So soft skills are proficiencies related to communication, personality traits, social clues, and behavioral habits. One of the key or the keywords I would like you to pick out of this is proficiencies that are related, one, to communication, the art of sending and receiving messages. Personality traits, the ability to understand who you are, not just what you are. No. Not just what you are, but who you are. Many of us obsessively find ourselves preoccupied with what we are. You're an engineer, yes, that's what you are. You're a doctor, yes, that's what you are. You're an economist, yes, that's what you are. You're a teacher, yes, that's what you are. But that's not who you are, because what you are is acquired. What you are is acquired. Today you are a quantity surveyor, but you are not born a quantity surveyor. Today you are a human resource manager, but you are not born a human resource manager. No, you attain that title along the way, and that's a character. That's a character. I know you watch movies, a lot of you as young people, and you know what we call when we say character. People playing characters in movies. It is not them, they're just playing a character. So here we're not talking about character, we're talking about personality traits. Personality traits is that strength, that innate capability that you've been born with, and that is who you are. You're hardworking, you're emotional. There are people on call, on this call, I know young people who anything very small and slight makes them cry. No, don't bother yourself and say it's a weakness. No, that's who you are. You are emotional. You are very agile. You are shrewd. You are a risk taker. These are personality traits. There are people on this call who fear risk. And then there are others who really enjoy risk and can play around with risk. So some of these are key personality traits that I will ask all of us to go and read deeply about, because this conversation cannot delve into discussing them on a deeper. But you will find that under the personality traits, there are people we call sanguines, there are people we call phlegmatics, there are people we call cholerics, and then there are people we call melancholics. And as you read and understand them, you will find how they describe them and where much of your traits fall. You will find your traits are many in one character and then few in another, meaning one is primary, another is secondary. So soft skills are also honed by your social cues. Social cues, how are you raised? What society have you lived in? What are the beliefs in your society? If you're greeting elders, how do you greet elders? Do you greet them standing tall like a tree, like an electric pole? Do you hold on your hand and bend to greet them? For some beautiful friends and sisters of mine who have grown up knowing that greeting elders is for kneeling, those are social cues. That's how you've grown up. Your prayer of worship has honed you becoming a social animal, a social being. And these values that we grow up understanding shape us to become the people we are. You will realize that if at home they tell you, your parents tell you, you come home after 8, after 9, no, you're not allowed in this house. That then becomes the value that you pick. And so it hones skills like time management. So social cues are very, very important. And beyond these conversations, I would also like you to go back home or anywhere you are and reflect into the social values and the cues that you've grown up in. And we keep saying that in case you find the social cues that you've been raised in contradict with today's world, then it's never late to unlearn, relearn, and learn. What are the behavioral habits? Your own personal behavioral habits. Are you loyal? Are you respectful? Are you reliable? These are traits you're not going to find in class on a blackboard or on a projection, or the lecturer is going to sing about them. Yet, they're very, very extremely important in workplace today. So soft skills really indicate how a person relates and works with others. Soft skills indicate how a person relates and works with others. And while a person, can learn hard skills like coding, like budgeting, like design, and you people in the engineering world, in the construction world, you're learning those hard skills like design and all that. The soft skills are more innate. They are inborn. They are not learned. They are not adopted. No, they are only honed. They are only shaped. They lie within you. You can't learn them. You can't pick them. If you're not a risk taker, you can't learn to take risk. It's impossible. I've been in this space, and every time you try to fight with yourself to learn how to take risks, then you fight with your own innate person. But what you can do is to learn to know how to manage risk when it comes. And probably how to grow partnerships with people who love to take risks. But also understand in what spaces of your growth can you take risk. So these skills are more innate. They are much more like emotions. On a keen perception, soft skills are qualities a person already has. Like I said, You don't adopt them. No, you already have them. You were born with them. That's why they are called innate. And every one of you has their own special skills. And as we delve into them today, you will appreciate what those skills you need and those you have can help you become a better person beyond what you studied in class. And the more you get fine-tuned into these skills, the more you get them honed and become better and shine better, the better person you become. The better person you become. Not only to yourself, but even to understanding people. Not only to yourself, but even to understanding people. So much as hard skills are important to do your job well, excellent soft skills will bring positive traits to your work environment. So that's what soft skills are. So what are those soft skills that we need in a workplace today? I will ask you, the friends on call, to help me understand your thought process. And for example, to say that, I know you have no chance to unmute, but if you can raise your hand, I'll ask Mike to give you a chance to unmute. If you can raise your hand, and if you can't raise your hand, I will ask you to type in the chat room. I will be able to read at least a comment you've shared. So randomly, the participants, the graduate trainees that are on this call this morning, in no order, if you got a job, what kind of environment would you want to work in? What kind of environment would you want to work in? Or what would you want to see at work? Just randomly, don't think so hard. Don't think so hard. Just randomly tell me what you'd want to find at the workplace. Muhabuzi?
Hello and good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So what I would like to see in the workplace is having an employer or supervisor that supports your growth and maybe takes off some time to mentor you. So that's what I would like to see.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, Asimwe. Support system and mentorship. Support system and mentorship. That's what he would wish to see in the workplace. Dennis says cleanliness. Thank you. Fantastic. Dennis wants to work in a very clean environment. Babilia Joanita says should wish to work in an educative work environment. And Peter Rachel says she would like to see proper communication, respecting hierarchy. Thank you very much. Ashava Edson says he would love to see teamwork. Fantastic. Mokisa Sheila says teamwork. Edson says career development. Amos Navutola says collaborative team. Sempara Ronald, friendly environment. I don't know how friendly you mean friendliness, but friendly environment, there it is. Peter Lodule says, I prefer working in a group where team members can encourage each other, share ideas. I also enjoy working for a company where I know I can continue to grow my skills both personally and professionally. Fantastic growth. Growth is coming in. Clear communication among all employees. Agree. Co-workers ready to share what they know. Wambale Alex, fantastic. Sharing knowledge. Sharing knowledge is a great skill and a great virtue. Teamwork and motivated employees. And not just that, but appreciative employers. John wants to see teamwork and motivated employees, but also would like to see employers that appreciate their workplaces. Joshua wants to see a happy workplace. Jacob wants to see good work and good communication. Harriet wants to have a healthy relationship with other workers. Very fantastic. Ambrose says he prefers working in a team while at work. Jovia loves serenity. Michael loves an organized environment. Chiseka, career growth, safe working environment. Johnson says non-selective and selfless environment. Non-selective. Constance says, I would love to work in a safe workplace. You're looking for safety, a place you can call home. Cinderella says she wants room for growth. I mean, if you look at all these comments you're sharing, they all have a relationship with one another. I mean, Kawesa says he would like to see engineers who aim at producing quality work. You want to be in an environment where you see quality work. Namwanje says she wants to feel like family at workplace. She wants that family-like relationship where all of you are brothers and sisters. You know, Sylvia believes where there is room to showcase her abilities and innovative solutions, she will be happier in that place. Deus says respect hierarchy and learn from other people above your position. I can also even learn that, not just learn from people above your position, but learn from everyone you're working with, because those above, those are their same position, and even those below your position all have something you can learn from them. Employees that can mentor and help us realize our mistakes and correct them. Very, very fantastic, Mutonyi Christine. I love it when people acknowledge their mistakes. I deeply, passionately love people who acknowledge their mistakes and are willing to correct them. Let me tell you, friends, there is no success. There is no success that has ever come on a silver plate. We make mistakes many times, but in making mistakes is where growth lies. And as you come into workplace today, please, please don't fear to make mistakes. Don't fear to make mistakes. But I'm not meaning be intentional in making mistakes. No. That's what I'm not saying. Don't start making intentional mistakes. No. But if there are mistakes are things we're not aware of, please don't fear. The teams should be there to correct them. So fantastic point shared out there. Environment embracing professional involvement through the work team, fairness regardless of religion, regardless of tribe. I mean, that says we are one family, and that's the diversity we are talking about. Time management and focus. Yes, time management and focus. You must be focused. You must know why you're here. You need to know when you're here. You need to know what you need to do. You need to know who you need to do it with. You need to know which skills you need to do it. You need to know what to do it. You need all that focus within you. Time work, a team that is willing to share knowledge, no circumstances compromising integrity. Fantastic idea. No circumstances for compromising integrity. Integrity is key at work. Creative and open to learn, career advancement opportunities. I mean, all of you, like I said, are extremely intelligent minds, because you've just made my conversation very easy. You've literally summarized my conversation. Because all these attributes you've shared with us here online are exactly the kind of workplace we want to see. And I'm very glad that all of you have an idea already of a kind of workplace that you want to work in. And that's why I said, as I began, that we have an ideal. We have an ideal workplace. The reality now is, are you willing? Are you willing? To every one of you that has contributed in that conversation, Agdre, Akampa, Akelo, Alo, Wambale, Constance, Diana, Christine, Joanita, Joseph, Kabugo, Kasande, Mandera, Mbabazi, Nabachwa, are we all willing to create this environment that we've shared in the chat room? Are we willing to create that environment? Desmond, are you willing to be that supportive person on the team? Mandela, are you willing to collaborate with others? Ronette, are you willing to promote that environment within the workplace that promotes career growth? It starts with us. Are you willing, Fred, to create safety in the workspace? Are you willing for people to feel safe around you? Are you a person we can be safe with? Eric, are you going to exhibit integrity that you're talking about, that you want to see at work? Are you the person that we are going to say anything to do with Eric? He doesn't compromise integrity. Eric is clean. Eric is opaque. I mean, Eric is translucent. What you see in him is what he is. He's not shady. Itungo, are you willing to keep time? Are you willing to be the focused person? Because you must appreciate that each one of us learns from one another. So you don't say, oh, my workmates don't keep time, so it is well with me. I'll also not keep time. No, you keep keeping time. And then others learn from you and want to be like you. Winter, are you the person who's going to look at people beyond religion and beyond tribes, like you say? Or you're the ones who are going to start creating very small, cliques within workplaces because you speak the same language. And so you can always discuss conversations about work growth in your own language, irrespective of appreciating that the workplace you're in has so many languages. Christine, you want your employer to mentor you. Are you willing to mentor others? Are you willing to appreciate people with their mistakes, with their flaws, and appreciate them as human beings? All these, the moment you're doing them, you're nurturing and growing certain skills. And what are those skills? We will begin with one of the most crucial skills that you've already talked about in the chat room, and that is communication skills. Communication skills. Friends, communication is key for all employees. Why? It ensures effective teamwork, it creates a more positive environment, and it helps to solve problems and issues and challenges at a workplace. Therefore, by being an effective communicator, you can come to resolutions quickly and encourage collaboration among teammates. You realize the things I'm talking about in defining communication are the things you already told me. Effective communication, collaboration, work together among teammates. There are things you're already talking about. Now, in some jobs, communication plays a huge role. And in most jobs that you're going to do, it so does. Jobs as human resources, management, sales, all those need communication. And all of you are going to find yourself in these spaces. Even if you're an engineer, you're going to find yourself in a sales world because you must sell what you do. You're going to become managers. And a human resource focuses on human capital development. So all of you are going to become part of the human resource conversation. So what are some of the communication skills that you now need more than ever before to acquaint yourselves with? One, listening. Listening, listening, listening. Friends, I'm not saying hearing. I'm not saying hearing. No, I'm saying listening. Listening is to receive message and digest it. Digest it. And you think thrice before you respond. Listening is to understand. Listening is not to respond. No. Listening is to understand. And then you respond after understanding. Listening at times is not even to speak, but to understand and put yourself in other people's shoes. Hearing on the other side is different. Most people hear to respond. Your boss calls you in office and is asking, Adong, good morning. How comes you're late? What happened today? Do you realize you have work that you are supposed to have submitted yesterday, and you have, even before they finish, you say, excuse me, boss, I am not late. I am not late. No, I am not late. You know, when I was coming from home, then it started raining. I had to jump in a taxi. While I was entering the taxi, then it spilled water on me. Then it spilled water on me. I had to go back home. When I reached home, then I realized my mother, you didn't even listen to understand what they are trying to communicate to you. You are quick to respond. And at times in trying to respond, you become irrelevant. There are people who don't let you say one, two things. They're already biting your own words. They're already entering into them and they're already trying to defend themselves. Listening is not about defending yourself. Listening is about understanding that when a boss tells you you're late, listening is to appreciate that you first say, I am absolutely sorry. Please forgive me. I am sorry. Yes, I know I'm late. It wasn't in my making. Please, could you allow me to explain? And then your boss says, okay, tell me, what was it? And then you say, I fell down. I slid and fell down. I had to pass in a hospital first. And because you began on a listening note, then your boss will say, oh, really? Sorry. How are you feeling now? Are you much better? Are you much better? Do you think you can work? Can I allow you to go home and rest? You see, your boss now is the one who comes down to you and wants to have an emotional attachment with you because you listened. You listened. You didn't hear. You didn't fight to respond. But the moment they are telling you, how comes you late? No. Me, I'm not late. Yeah, no. I've not done this before. This is the first time I'm doing it. We are not talking first times and last times. We're talking about the fact that today you're late. Listen. Listen to your seniors. Listen to your juniors. Listen to the people you serve with at the same level. Listen beyond even the workplace. Listen to understand people you work with. Listen to understand what they go through when they're coming to work. Listen to appreciate how people have been raised. Listen to appreciate the values people come with, because all of you are coming from different walks of life. And how you were raised is not how I was raised. So listening helps you not to rush to judge. Listening helps you not to rush to judge, but rather to understand. So friends, as you come into the workforce today, you must be able to listen, to listen, to listen. Writing is essential today. You might not be a good writer, but you need to appreciate writing. Why? Because writing is the only way we send and receive messages in our work organization. Whether on WhatsApp, whether on email, whether on any approved work environment. And I will say this, that while you are communicating professionally, please use writing more than talking. You're going to become managers. You're going to be on a team. You're going to work collaboratively like you've been telling me. Avoid coming to me as Samuel and then tell me, Samuel, you're the one supposed to do this tomorrow. Because the word cannot be defended. It's your word against my word. There's no proof for what was said. It's important to write. Write an email. The same thing you've just said, write an email and copy in someone to that email. And copy in your team leader or anyone that is in leadership and is allowed to be copied in that mail. So that tomorrow, when Samuel says, no, really, did you tell me? I don't remember. You say, I wrote, check your email. And you can pull out your email. It will defend you. It will defend you. Where you don't have to say much. The email will defend you. So learn to write, mostly in the professional space. Learn to write, learn to write, learn to write, learn to write. It will defend you, it will defend you, it will defend you. Many of you are forgetful. They tell you something today, by tomorrow you forgot, and Kwanzaa. They even tell it to you in the morning, and then you'll be like, Aya, they told me to call the other client. Kala, I forgot. So write. If you're in a meeting like this, you be writing. Be writing. Be writing. I might not say everything making sense to you, but there could be that one thing that makes sense. Write it. Write it. Write it. Why? Because when you go back tomorrow or the next day or 1 year later, you read what you wrote. That's why great people write. Have a diary. Have a diary. Have a diary, friends, where you write your notes. Where you write things you come across that you think are very, very important. Writing. Writing is very key. Write your appointments. Have a calendar. You have both now. You have digital calendars in your phones. Write. If today, Friday, the 12th of January, you're supposed to have a work readiness webinar, if I ask you by show of hands, and we talked about integrity, how many of you put this day and this work readiness webinar in your calendar, either yesterday to remind you 2 days, to remind you today, or to remind you at 8 if it was starting at 10, or to remind you at 9? I mean, how many of you just wrote it in your calendar, in your diary, or in your phone to remind you about this work readiness webinar? Raise your hand. Don't lie yourself. Don't lie yourself. You're lying yourself if you raise your hand and you just didn't do that. I see hands getting up. I see hands becoming many. I see 13, 14, 15 hands, 16, 17. Please don't raise it for the sake of saying, it's me, they are going to see my hand not raised. No. The fact that you're here, in this webinar, you remembered. So no pun intended. But we are saying those who wrote it. Now, you see the hands are staggering at 18. They are between 18 and 19. Okay, I will leave another provision of 10 people who maybe say, I don't know technology that much, so I can't raise my hand. I'm unable to raise my hand. So maybe let me make them 30. But how many people are we on call? 114, minus a secretariat and our board members. Let's bring it out to 108. So 108 minus 20. How many people are the balance? So the balance is around 70 something. Oh, Dennis is saying, but it was written in the email. No. Yes, they wrote to you in the email, but where did you write it to remind yourself? Because the email does not create an alarm to remind you. So you can put your hands down. Thank you. Thank you very much, those who wrote it down. So write these reminders. There are so many opportunities that we miss if we don't write. So many opportunities that we miss if we don't write. You can put your hands down. So write. Oh, the email does create a reminder. Yes, the email creates a reminder, And mostly many of you, because you registered, and so the email creates a reminder. But I'm saying, you as an individual, did you note it somewhere? I am now holding you responsible for your own self. It is not you who wrote the email, right? You received the email. So I am holding you accountable for you, your own self. Because if you only rely on the email, one can say, the email was deleted. I received the emails and unfortunately they were deleted. Unfortunately, my calendar, we can have so many excuses. So beyond the email having a reminder, write it yourself. Write it yourself. You lose nothing. So writing is very, very important. The next communication skill that we need very much in life, and it's called what we call empathy. And empathy is as simple as putting yourself in other people's shoes. It's a communication art. So friends, as you come into workspace, you must have empathy. You must be able to put yourself in other people's shoes. We come from different backgrounds, like I said. But you have lunch. You have lunch. Some of you are planned kids, planned children. So you have, much as you're coming into internship space and you're starting to work, some of you will even start working when you're driving because your parents can afford. Some of you are hustlers. You've been hustling all through as you study. So you drive, So you need to have empathy is if you belong to a certain workplace and you probably live in Chisasi, Kulambiro, Gaya, Zagulu, Kotido, Mbale, Mbarara, I mean, wherever you stay, and you have workmates, but probably you live in area A, and area A, two workmates of yours that live in area A. Are you the kind of person that puts yourself in their shoes and understand that maybe when it rains, can I give them a lift to work? Can I go with them to work? Why? Because you said you're a team. You want to see places where you play as a team. And so playing as a team means moving as a team. Or are you the kind of person who say, I don't want mud in my car. I don't want to be soto, like it will never be washed. Like your car fears water. No. I don't want people in my car. They'll make my car old very fast. You could lose a job and stay with your car and fail to fuel it. Are you a team player? You're going out in the field. The company has given you probably that day the company car is busy. You have a car. Can you put yourself in other people's shoes and go with them to the field? Or you want to be in the car alone so that you can increase your music, or what are the trending songs today? So that you can play all those trending songs in loud bang music alone. As you take people with you, I know there are these memes of you enter my car, the rules in my car, what you go with. But look, can you create a conducive environment in your car? Just like many of you asking for a conducive environment at a workplace. Empathy, putting yourself in other people's shoes. It's lunch hour. Somehow everyone has left for lunch. But there is this one or two people in office that don't seem to have gone for lunch. And not that they're actually very busy on their desk. You can actually see they are trying to make themselves busy on their desk. But somehow you can see their lips are dry. Somehow you've probably seen they were not smiling since morning. It could be that they are broke. It could be that day they have something stressing them. They don't even have transport back home. Empathy asks you to come to talk to these people and say, is everything okay? Are you well? Can we go for lunch? And when you go for lunch, can you share a meal with them? Not things of, may I moved in my 20K. My 20K is for my lunch today. No. that food you're going to eat of 20K won't live in your body forever. It will still come out. So even if you shared the meal and each of you took food for 10K, 10K, even if a person realizes, you realize they didn't have transport and you eat food of 5K, 5K, you give them another 5K. You also save a 5K. Haven't you even saved? The Lord will bless you. Workplace will bless you. The world is watching you. These are things that make you a better leader because you're able to put yourself in other people's shoes while you communicate. Those were non-verbal things you can see without even talking. As you communicate, do you communicate putting other people into your space or putting yourself into their shoes? When you make a phone call, how do you talk? That's a kind of way you pick people's calls or respond to people's calls. Someone gives you a call, good morning, good morning, how are you? Okorechi. So what? You do what? You do what? Oh, my being okay and not being okay. What business do you have in that? We've met people, we've been in workplaces where people respond like that. Often ask yourself, if I was responded to the way I want to respond to others, would I smile? Would I appreciate? And would I want to stay in such a workplace? Put yourself in other people's shoes when you're communicating. Giving constructive feedback. Constructive feedback. Giving constructive feedback. Someone says, we had a timeline, we had a deadline, I was supposed to go in field, pick this data. Hey, the rain messed me up. I don't know what to do. Be the person who says, no. Take heart, all is well. Where do you want me to support you? Can I help? No, all is well. I know that timelines are here, but if we sit down and give it another extra 1 hour, I think we can do this. I know it's already 5 p.m. We're supposed to be leaving work, but let's push in just 1 hour and see that we get this work done. Constructive feedback. Or you're the kind of person who's going to be in office and say, it's 5, nze. I can't go beyond 5. This office is not my father's office. If it's 5, I'll go. Share. Am I not the one who's even not being paid? Because many of you are coming as interns and support staff. Suddenly, you're not going to be paid. Please don't look at money. When you focus on money, you lose a direction. You lose the focus I think Christine talked about, Motoni. Focus is to look beyond money. Look beyond money. Look at the environment they are giving you. Look at the AC. Look at the chairs you're sitting on. Look at an address at an office where you can now tell your relatives that I sit on Colville Street, I sit in Nakasero, I sit on High Street, I sit on Plot 30. Look at all those and be able to give constructive feedback. Are you the kind of person who someone tells, I'm trying to learn this new system they have brought, but I don't seem to get it. And you're like, leave. They will come and teach us if they want us to do them anyway. Leave. Don't kwekoya. Tewekoya. And most of these negative feedbacks are often in our local languages. Somehow. They don't stay in English. They somehow go into our local languages. So you're the one saying, don't try, biveko. Let's go. It's time for Man U to play Arsenal. Are you the one who gives constructive supporting feedback? Or you're the one who's always telling people things that are demotivating and things that pull people down? You need it. Be constructive. Self-confidence. Are you confident in yourself? Do you believe in yourself? We tell you, you're going to represent the organization somewhere, speak on our behalf, and then it's, oh, food day. Then you start sweating, you sweat like as if rain has hit you, your lips become dry, you get anxiety, your ears stand straight, your hair pulls all over all directions. I mean, I've seen people who even pee on themselves just because they have been told to delegate or to lead something. It's because they lack self-confidence. So, friends, you need to be self-confident. Learn yourself and know your strengths and weaknesses so that if they tell you this, you say, this I can do, this I need support, I need guidance. Are you self-confident in the person who you are? Are you proud of yourself? This communicates a lot. When you walk in office, people know you've walked in. Finally, are you respectful? Are you respectful in everything you do at work? Do you respect yourself? Do you respect others? It's very, very important. Now, some of the non-verbal communication skills that you'll need that will certainly not be seen all the time, but can be felt, is your voice. How do you talk to people when you're talking to them? Your voice, your gestures, your body language, your facial expressions. Are you the kind of person who is always gloomy at their desk, as in someone sees you from a distance and fears to reach near you? You're all gloomy, very gloomy, like all the world debts are on your head. Smile. Friends, you don't know how much a smile can put on people's hearts. Someone just seeing you smiling, you become approachable. Someone just sees you smiling, you become approachable. Hug if you hug. Hugs communicate. Do I have people who love hugging on the team? Raise your hand. If you know how to hug and you love how to hug, hug. Hug professionally. You know, hugs bring warmth into the workplaces. Smile at people. Be hospitable. Be welcoming. But as you plan to hug and be hospitable, think about your personal hygiene. You know, wear some deodorant. Wear some perfume on you. These days, Kampala and this Uganda of ours has made things easy. You can even find a perfume for 50K, 10K, 20K. You can buy a deodorant, 10K, 20K, 30K. Please wear it. Don't say I'm losing money. No. Though you're not losing money, you're building value into yourself. You're adding value into yourself. Because it's also a problem to come to hug you and I just not to be so unfair. I don't want to use certain words, but someone comes to hug you and they regret the day they were born. You try to talk to someone and the air that comes out of your mouth is very, 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 very scaring. So those are some of the things you'll not be told to brush your teeth. You'll not be told to wear a roll-on. I don't think you've learned it in school, in your quantity surveying or quality surveying or engineering professions, but you need them. You need to smell good. You need to have a good breath, both out of you. Some of you could love alcohol. And you drink and hallelujah, thank you for drinking. But then you drink and then don't brush. And then the next day you come to office and when you talk, bell lager just comes out of your mouth. You just talk like this and waraji just spills out of your mouth. And you see everyone trying to avoid you and you keep saying, why do people avoid me? Why don't people want to talk to me? Then you now start saying, this environment I work in is not conducive. People don't get close. No. It's how you smell. So take good care of your personal hygiene. The second skill we need in today's world, and that communication clip has that image that says what, where, when, who, which, how. As we communicate, you need to know what to communicate, where to communicate, when to communicate, how to communicate, why you're communicating, and to who you're communicating. Very, very important. Very, very important. So the second skill you need as we fight time is adaptability. Adaptability. Being flexible in an organization is a soft skill. Employers want to see their team being open-minded and embracing change. Because we are working in a busy environment. Things change quickly. COVID comes, things change, systems change. Are you flexible? And one of the things that shows you're flexible is being organized as an individual, self-organized, self-motivated, self-managed. Adaptability. You're organized as an individual. We say we are moving. We are moving you from Barara to Kapchorwa. Your things are packed. You know where your things are. You know where your files are. You know where your documents are, and you pack and you move. Some of you, even if I ask you what is in your bedroom, you don't even know. Everything is littered all over everywhere. You're not organized at all. You have documents on your desk in office. You're going to receive documents. You don't have a file. And you're also saying the company must buy me a file. You lose nothing if there is no file. Invest in yourself. Buy a file, simple file, even if it's a file of 10K. Buy a file and put your documents. If I ask you for a document of 2023, you know where it is. It's for your own good. If I ask you for a document and you start telling me, the office has never given me a file, you'll be fired. You'll be fired, I can tell you. Be organized, be self-motivated. Don't wait for people to tell you things. No, do things you think are right. It's 8 a.m. You're supposed to be in office, be in office. When you come and reach office and the door is closed and it is 8, stay there, be reading something. Be reading something. Don't reach at 8 and you find it closed and say, now that it is closed, let me first go and eat Katogo. Let me first go and eat Rolex. Then you go and then first go on TikTok. Then first spend time recording your Rolex with a tick on a TikTok, and then 8 a.m. in the morning, a professional like you're on TikTok busy sharing, what happened in a concert last night. I mean, your bosses can check your social media handles, and they are wondering this staff who at 8 a.m. is sending TikToks of nasty things. What kind of employee do I have? And let me tell you, I talk to human resource managers. I've sat in organizations and I've seen people fired because of social media. You're quick to write because I tell you writing, and then you're quick to write. You go on your social media handle, you go on your Facebook, you start writing. Hey, here at workplace Banange, do you think they feed us? It is for God and my country. If you're hungry, you die. You're writing them on your status. Some of you, I know you understand WhatsApp so much. So what happens when you get in organizations like this? You first go to your workmates, you block them. Human resource block, ED block, CEO block, so they don't see your status. I mean, one can view your status from anywhere else if they want and wish to. And they can know you blocked them. And I'm not saying don't post things you want. No. It's your space, it's your phone. But know that there are repercussions for what you post in your space. Because the moment you start working in an organization, you become part of the brand ambassador of that organization. Curiosity. Are you in a workplace? Are you willing to learn? Curiosity. Are you willing to learn how things are done? Positivity. Are you the positive kind of person at work? Creating hope in other people. Are you the kind of person who's calm in stressful situations? Like there is a challenge at work. Are you the one who stays calm in stressful situations? Or you're the kind of person when there is something stressful in work, you're already the one quarreling, shouting, putting hands together. These days, if you're driving in Kampala, you need to be calm. because people drive in crazy ways. Borders. At one moment, you have to hold your breath and say, let me stay calm. Otherwise, if you don't stay calm, you'll quarrel with almost everyone. So in workplaces, are you calm? Because the moment you exhibit these kind of traits, then the workplace starts seeing you as a better manager, as a better leader. Are you quick at decision making? Are you quick at decision making? Are you open-minded? Do you appreciate other people's opinions? Do you work with other people? What does adaptability mean? Adaptability means that you're able to face a reality in a work organization, and that creates flexibility in the work organization, and that flexibility is what leads to problem solving. And that's what adaptability is. Team playing skills. Team playing skills. Many of you talked about them as another skill, team player. You want to work with teams that are bonded. You look at that image on your screen. That dice is sliced in 4. And you have 4 people. That's a team. All of you must push the organization to come to the center stage. And that's when the dice will be complete. If you've pushed your dice to the center stage and your dice and another member's dice is not yet in the center stage, walk to their dice and push it with them. Being a team player is to learn to delegate when you can't. Don't die on things. Loosely translated, don't die on things. Allow that you can delegate or be delegated. Team playing means negotiation. You're going out in field, you have one car, you're 10 people, you can't all fit. Negotiate who goes. Let the most key important people go, and those who don't go can now embark on another assignment in office and get it done. Mediation. Being a team player is to know that when you see 2 people not in good terms, you can mediate. You be the bridge between people. Don't be the wall. Don't be the kind of person who fights everyone in a workplace not to become friends with one another. We talked about listening. Be a coordinator. You have activities, you have events. Like they just told you, NABSEC celebrated 30 years of existence. And they had a huge infrastructure exhibition in Kololo, you know. So can you, for example, if UNABSEC is having such an event, UNABSEC has invested in you now, can you come and help in the coordination voluntarily? That's when they will be able to see your skills and probably hire you. So at organizations where you're going, can you volunteer? Can you volunteer to coordinate? Can you coordinate others? Can you push others? If you're doing mediation, then you'll be able to be good at conflict management. Are you cooperative? And do you collaborate with others at work? If you do that, you lead me to the 5th skill, which is called problem solving. You need problem solving skills today in whatever workplace you're going to be in. You need problem solving skills. Why? Finding effective solutions for work-related problems is a huge asset, and employers want to see you solving problems, which can keep the organization moving forward. Some roles require problem-solving skills more than others. Engineering is one of them. So what are some of the key skills you need if you're to solve problems? Perception. How do you perceive things? How do you look at things? Do you look at things objectively or subjectively? Yes, your friend has done something, but are you able to move beyond your friend and be objective and tell your friend that I know you're my friend, but what you did is not right? Or you're the kind of person who's going to side with your friend because they are your friend, irrespective of whether they have done right or wrong. Problem solving needs persistence. To solve a problem, you don't just do it today and it's over. You need persistence and consistency. You need to know to make decisions. You need to learn to make decisions. You need lateral thinking. Lateral thinking is as good as non-biased thinking. It's lateral. It's not biased. It unifies everyone. You need to be so initiative. I mean, if you're going to solve problems, you need to initiate. Start the conversation. You're seeing something not right in office, start the conversation with the right people and the right spaces. But you also need to learn to be good at brainstorming. Think. Challenges at workplace. Think. And what are some of the problem solving sequence? One is you need to understand to define the problem as you solve it. Two, after defining the problem or identifying the problem, brainstorm on the solutions. After brainstorming, pick a solution among the many you've brainstormed. Then test the solution and review the results. Then you realize you're becoming better at solving problems in an organization. Another skill that you very, very much need away from problem-solving skills is interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills are skills used to interact with other people around you, include your colleagues, your employers, even the people you meet on the road, even the people at home, even the people in the neighborhood. These skills are important in all roles. They especially in your job where you work, because you're working with people. You're working with people, you need them. So one of the skills you need interpersonal communication, interpersonal skill is you need to be able to have empathy. I talked about empathy already. You need diplomacy. Diplomacy is a calm demeanor. Diplomacy is staying calm, staying strong and firm, even in the toughest condition. Diplomacy is learning how to talk to people. You talk like a diplomat, you walk like a diplomat, you behave like a diplomat. You need to be sensitive to other people's feelings, because we are human beings that have emotions. You don't just talk to us for, be sensitive. Friends, if you're going to succeed in work, you need to appreciate public speaking. Like I said, you'll be delegated one day to go and talk. Can you speak in public? Can you relate others? Can you relate others? There are some of you who are very extremely intolerant. Please, to relate others. You're all here to learn. You're all here to work. And most importantly, to achieve the shared vision and goal. Like I said, if you're good at something, are you mentoring other people to be good at it? If you're good at timekeeping, are you mentoring other people about what's the importance of timekeeping? Are you a networker? The organization you live in, relies on network, both internal network and external network. Do you network with at work? There are some of you going to get in workplaces, and even you've been doing it at university. You come and enter. You come and enter your lecture room, your study room, sit in one chair. You don't talk to anyone. You're making yourself look holier than thou. You never talk. You get up. You move. Even in class, you don't know who your neighbor is. You don't know who sits near you. Now you're coming in a workplace, and this is a workplace for people. You must be able to network with people. Greet people, enter office, pass by desks and greet people. You lose nothing, but you know how they are doing. And finally, do you have a sense of humor? And like you see in that photo, someone is greeting. Someone is greeting, courtesy. If you see on their board, they have written so many stickers and put them there. Why? To remind themselves. But why is humor very important? It creates smiles on people's faces. If you look at that photo, people are smiling. People are smiling. So while many of you are telling me you want a conducive environment, a happy place to work in, you are that place. How you smile is determinant of the kind of place that becomes. So smile, 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 and have a sense of humor. Create fun. There are people at work that even when you've been studying, that this person enters the room and you all laugh and you all have this hearty laughter and life feels good. Finally, there are so many skills, but I selected these out and I'll tell you all the other ones that you can go to. But finally, the most important ones are these that we highlighted, the leadership skills. No, among interpersonal skills, we have the sense of human networking, patience. Patience is very, very key. So the final one is the leadership skills. The leadership skills. Friends, every one of you is a leader. Just know that. Every one of you is a leader. Away from titles, you need to learn to lead yourself, lead your girlfriend, lead your wife, lead your husband, lead your spouse, lead your children, and continue leading into organizations. We are all leaders by virtue of being created in God's image. So because we are leaders, leadership has the ability to guide well an organization, mostly in terms of achieving its goals. An organization with leadership that is not focused and goal-oriented and vision-oriented cannot win. And who leads or who wins? Every one of us. Yes, you're going to find MDs, but don't think it's a job of MDs. It's all a shared responsibility. And so as I prepare you to appreciate that even when you're a junior and you have no title, you're a leader in an organization, you need to be humble. Be humble. Be humble. Humility. Be humble, friends. Be humble. Be humble before the world humbles you. Be humble. Be humble. Yes, we know you've grown up in a rich home and you're coming to work with people who are vulnerable, but be humble. Don't despise them. Don't underlook people. Be humble. Be humble. Be humble. Be humble. There is no course description that talks about being humble, but be humble. Lack of being humble will get you fired at a workplace. Lack of humility may not give you a job, but having humility can actually grow you to spaces. I mean, many of you are going to go into workplaces and there is this waiter or cleaner. Please, please. A cleaner has cleaned. And then you've come with your wet shoes full of bisoto. Don't just step where the person has just cleaned and say, it is your job to clean. If I don't step there and make it dirty, when will you be working? Please, be humble. Don't despise those people. Don't underlook them. He's an askari. Don't despise. Be humble. I was doing my running 2 days ago and it started raining and I said this time around I won't continue raining. So I stopped by a petrol station with a couple of other people to get shade. And while we were there, this young man comes with his motorcycle and doesn't want to listen to Afande's orders where to park the motorcycle. And the man starts telling Afande, do you know me? Why are you? Do you know I know the boss of here? What? He said so many things. And later we ask him, boss, who do you think you are? All these other motorcycles which are in the rain. Because now, me, I'm not this kind of person who will see things wrong and keep quiet. No, I'll speak about them. The person disagreed with us. The person was argumentative. The person was a big head. And finally, you know what was done? He was chased and he had to ride in the rain. Why? He failed to be humble. So friends, be humble. Be humble. From ash we come, from ash we go. Be humble. It's just a journey that in life that we're going through. Empathy, I talked about it. Have empathy. Versatility. Versatility. A leader has to be versatile. All of you on call have to be versatile. You have because you're leaders. Be versatile. Be flexible. Be very versatile. Systems could change. If systems change at workplace, we don't want you to be the kind of person who say, now they have changed the system. Now I cannot work. Then you spend a whole day in office quarreling over change of system. Be versatile. Embrace change. Friends, you must be trusted. You must be trustable for you to trust others, but also others to trust you. And trust is earned, not bought, not demanded for. So be respectful. Be trustable. If you say I'll be in office, please be in office. If you say I'll come at 8, please be in office at 8. rain or shine. Worst case scenario, if you can't make it by 8, communicate why you can't make it by 8. But be trusted. Trust means a lot. Trust means a lot. Some of you drive cars. You know what trust means. To get like your car and give it to a person and just allow them to drive it. You don't give it to them because you don't value the car. No, you give it to them because you trust. And friends, if any person ever trusts you, be careful to break people's trust. It's never easily earned again. They trust you with money at work. Don't eat it. Whatever way your leaders and your peers trust you, please respect that trust because it's earned. It's not demanded. Have the good discipline. Have the good discipline. Have the good discipline. You lose nothing. Have the good discipline. Look well, dress well, cut your hair. Some of us, you walk in an office and the hair looks like, I mean, this one could be a musician arriving just right from Nyargot. Hair is now you live in societies of a mohawk, what. This hair that is all pointed up in the sky like as if it is a lightning conductor, and then you have that kind of hair. It is then has over you tint it all these many colors. You end up looking like a gecko. Hair has blue, white, yellow, red. What? I mean that's in discipline. It's in own way. It's in discipline. Be disciplined. Be disciplined in how you look. Be disciplined in how you walk. Be disciplined in how you talk. Be disciplined in what you do. Just be disciplined. Stay humble. When people tell you something, please don't be quick to attack. No, stay disciplined. Discipline is simply doing the right things at the right time, in the right place, with the right people. So stay disciplined. Most importantly, keep listening actively. Keep listening actively. And finally, be authentic. Be authentic. Be you. Be you. Be you. Jacob, be you. Desmond, be you. Ebo, be you. Emily, be you. Be authentic. Don't try to be like others. Be you. Why am I saying that? Because every time you're you, people appreciate you for you. Every time you're you, people who want to support you to become better find it easy because you're yourself. You're not faking it. I know some of you have grown up in spaces where they say fake it until you make it. Please don't fake it. You won't make it. It's just a temporal relief of mediocres. It's a statement of mediocres. Fake it till you make it. Don't fake it. The fact that statement already says fake, there's no making fake. There's no making fake. There's no making it in faking it. It's just temporarily. Don't fake it. Be you. Be you. If you're going to smile, smile. Be you. Don't fake the smile. It will soon wear off. Don't fake it. Don't fake it. Be you. Being you, being authentic is where you allow as an individual to be that person that can allow to be guided. It starts from being you. You accept that you are a late comer. All your life you've been being late in life. Now accept that is you and then be willing to change. Be willing to learn. That is accepting to be you. You're ever walking very, very fast, very, very, very fast. Please calm down. Accept. Learn to walk with others. It is a journey. You're not on it alone. You're walking with other people. Be you. Things like hair. Be you. Be you. Wear the styles that looks good on you. Don't wear hairstyles because it is the fashion. No, please leave fashion to continue. You are fashion yourself. Dress things that make you look you. You are fashion yourself. Don't try to copy. You lose authenticity. And in organizations, we are looking for authenticity. We are looking for people who are themselves, because those people are easy to mentor. They are easy to coach. They are coachable. They are coachable. Why? They appreciate their strengths and weaknesses because they are allowed to be authentic. As I conclude, more other skills that you may write on the side is cope up with others. Learn how to manage stress. Learn how to set goals, friends. Learn how to set goals. Learn how to question things, not so much, but question things to understand how things work. Don't enter organization and try to do your own things. No. Have work ethics. Have work ethics. Have work ethics. Be reliable, be responsible, and be committed to achieving your work. What does work ethic mean? Have the discipline, have the integrity, be dependable, be committed, be a critical thinker, be professional, be an initiator, have time management, and be a self-motivated individual. You must learn to be detail-oriented. It asks for critical thinking. It asks for memorization. It asks for self-organization. It asks for perception. You be accurate in striving for perfection in your work. We're not asking you to be perfect, no, but we are saying try and be accurate. Understand the details of, you're in the engineering world, and I'm sure you know what accuracy means to work. Missing measurements, missing numbers, where the figure is 12 and you put 13, can bring the whole building down. So try and strive to be accurate, not to look for perfection, but try and be accurate in what you do. Because then other people will depend on you to grow. Have self-reflective conversations, what we call introspection. But most importantly, invest time and money in learning these soft skills. If it's a course, do it. If it's finding a mentor, find them. Invest time and money. Invest time and money. And money does not mean money, hard cash, like go pay. No. Invest time is what we've been learning all through. Invest money is the things we've also been talking about. Invest money. Smell good, buy a perfume, buy a deodorant, buy a roll-on, buy toothpaste. We are not going to hear stories of like January is not Januarying. No, buy a toothpaste. We are not going to listen to things of like, I'm not yet working, that's why I can't afford toothpaste. No, the work dynamics are not waiting for you. The opportunities are going to those who are ready to grab them. Opportunities don't make appointments. No. Opportunities come to those who are readily available. Invest in yourself. Wear a good shirt. Wear a nice dress. And friends, wearing a nice shirt or nice dress does not mean expensive. No. I know where I can go in this world and pick shirts of 20K and iron it and wear it and I look like I'm wearing $1 million suit. Coming to office when you have not ironed is irresponsible, even if power was off. I love my friends, the girls. They have clothes they call wash and wear. And then they have clothes they know are for ironing. Those ones you can't wear them if you've not ironed them. So on a rainy day or on a no power day, wear your wash and wear. No one might tell you why you're looking unironed in office, but we are recognizing you didn't iron. Now, if you can't iron, how do you be a leader? If you can't iron, how do we retain you? You didn't iron, and then you reach office. And then all of a sudden they tell you there is a meeting in the boardroom, or there is a meeting, and as a team you're going together for a meeting. I have been in organizations and seen people where they tell them you're going for a meeting and someone runs back home to change clothes. Last year, I happened to have been somewhere moderating an event, a symposium, a huge symposium. And this was a big person in the ministry. And they had come just dressed in just t-shirts, sandals, and jeans, and just come to attend a symposium. For them, I think it was like a day off. And while we are there at the symposium, the guest of honor happens to get caught up, and so sends the speech to this commission and says, please read my speech. And then us were moderators, I mean, me as a moderator and an MC had to fall into trouble on how to manage time. Why? The commissioner then started staggering, ran away, got into the car, then rushed back home. Thank God their home was closer to the venue. And then they went to change and dress up and look for shoes and wear a suit. There was jam. And then we were delayed like by 40 minutes. But we couldn't tell the congregation what is happening. We tried to buy time, try to do ABCD. We are calling someone, where are you reaching? And finally someone shows up now in a suit. But even if you've shown up in a suit, imagine the people who had seen you in the morning. Now they see you again, now you've come as they think you're very unserious. Friends, there are things people will not tell you, but you will look unserious. And you'll be fired. And you'll not be hired. And you'll go back to your village crying. There are no jobs in Uganda. No, the jobs are there. You're not doing the right job inside of you. The jobs are there. You're not doing the right job in the inside of you. Invest money. Clean your shoe. Okay, it is one pair of shoe, but that doesn't mean it is dirty. Clean it. Clean it. Clean it, brush it. Come to office when the shoe is clean. No one will recognize the same shoe. They will instead say, hey, Sam's shoe is always sparkling clean. No one will say, Sam has one shoe. No, we start knowing it's one shoe when you don't clean it. Iron, clean your shoe. Let it look good. Comb your hair. Keep your beards kept. You men, you young men, I know you've passed your adolescent stage. I know you're starting to feel like men. Auntie, haven't you started renting for yourself? Now you live in your own house, your own apartment, you have keys. You go swinging them. Now you can open and enter. And then you start raising beards. So that we fear you that you're now a grown-up man. Your beards are not scaring any one of us. Clean your beards. Comb your beards. Don't make us look at you like a rebel. Like we look at you and we think you're a rebel. These are things that are making people lose jobs. Intellectual conscience, your intelligence and wisdom will hire you. But failing to have soft skills that we call emotional intelligence will fire you. Your wisdom and your intelligence of passing in class will get you hired to the job. But what will keep you on the job is how relatably you can work conducively and create a conducive environment with other people. I hope there was one or two things that you could have picked and learned out of this conversation. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Ngambwachi. I must say, I was nodding my head in agreement the whole time. I enjoyed your submission. I'm so proud that we had someone like you to speak to us this morning, and I'm very sure each and every one of us has picked something from your submission. In fact, this reminds me, as we're talking about soft skills, there's a gentleman called Hilary Bamulinde on Twitter, and he posts a lot about things like this. There's one tweet that stood out to me when he tweeted as follows: skills and competences are important, but being likable is what gets people promotions, perks, and trips. Invest in your persona, or you will be doing a lot of unpaid overtime. And I can't think of a better time to bring this out. A lot of fresh graduates miss this and think it's just the technical skills. Yes, as you say, the technical skills get you that job, but then what will keep you in that job? Okay, you might stay in that job because you're good at what you do, but what will give you that promotion? What will get you those extra things that come with the job? Those are the soft skills Mr. Ngambwachi was talking about. And as you said, learning never ends. Even right now, when you are speaking, I was learning so many things. And I'm sure Mr. President, or even Mike and you, Mr. Ngambwachi, will agree with me that the older you grow, and the higher you go in your career, the more you grow in your career, you actually realize that you know very little. I remember when I had just finished campus, I got out with this attitude of I know, I know, I know. And I remember how quickly I was humbled by the work that was given to me. So that is something to always keep at the back of your mind, that you should always be teachable, and that's a very good quality, especially as a fresh graduate. Another thing, Mr. Samuel talked about self-confidence and growth. And I thought to myself, indeed, self-confidence also translates into knowing that making mistakes is part of growth, because most of us, especially when you're fresh, you seem to shy away from mistakes. People don't own up to mistakes, or find a colleague to shift the blame to, so that the boss can blame the other one. But the moment you realize that, no, actually, when I make a mistake and learn from it, I am growing. You learn to embrace your mistakes, and you become more and more confident. Maybe another thing, Mr. Samuel, I wish you had talked about is the use of slang. I personally, this is something I have seen with so many, not only fresh graduates, but finalists and campusers. There are some things we take very lightly, especially when we are younger. There's a WhatsApp group where we engineers. And on this group, we have right from the students to fresh graduates, to even MDs of companies, presidents of organizations. And as a fresh graduate or as a student, one would or should look at that as a way to market yourself, that each and everything you post on that group is something that it should reflect well on you and make you marketable to the people you want to employ you, because they ask for jobs. But then you see many individuals using slangs, many students using slang. I had one, he was still a student at that point, but he wanted me to employ him when he got out of campus. And he sent me WhatsApp messages because he had my number and he didn't have my email. But I was very disturbed. And even to this day, I'm still disturbed by people who operate in such a way. The message he sent, first of all, had so much slang. I think it's like he was speaking to his colleague. So much slang. You know the slang young people use. Okay, I don't want to say young people because I'm also not old, but the fresh graduates, let me say, the campusers or the younger people, they use on WhatsApp. They abbreviate words. If you're writing good, you write GD. Then if you're writing the word make, you write MEK. Such things. That is the biggest turn off when it comes to a person who you're asking for employment. And I think it's very vital that our applicants, our students, our graduates take note of that. Mr. Samuel talks a lot about it, communication, the writing, the speaking, but this writing we are still lacking, Mr. Samuel, and our applicants, we are still lacking a lot, and I've seen it so many times, even in emails. Someone writes an email, they don't know how to start the email, they don't know how to conclude the email, how to break it down. They don't even know things as simple as abbreviations. See, there's a time I was hiring for an admin position, and I can tell, I think I received like 15 applications, and just by reading their emails without even going into the CV, checking out the CV, I cut off around 10 people from that application because just the grammar in the email put me off. Starting a sentence with a small letter, not knowing where to put a comma, a full stop. These might seem like small things, but they are things that get you the job, that give an impression of who you are, how well you can handle your business as an employee or as an individual. So thank you very, very much, Mr. Samuel. That was very detailed. That was very enlightening, and we definitely learned a lot. I really hope our applicants have been busy with their notebooks and pens, because the next session we are going into is the Q&A session, where we want to hear from you. We want you to ask everything that you're not sure about, or that you feel you might need as someone in the workplace, as a graduate in the workplace. And let me check out the chat and see if there are any. I need Mike to help me here, because I might not see some messages. Most of them are thanking you, Mr. Ngambwachi, for that very good presentation. And someone else is saying they were nodding their head in acceptance too. Yes. Thank you for that elaborate presentation. Now we want questions. Do we have any questions from our applicants? Anything you want to be guided on? Anything you need to know? Please. And you can also feel free to raise your hands for those who want to speak. Feel free to raise your hands for those who want to speak, and also to use the chat for those who don't intend to speak or prefer to write. Yes, a lot of thank yous here in the chats. Thank you so much, sir. I have grasped a lot from the presentation. That's Jackson. Thanks. I request the presentation to be shared to us, please. I don't know, Mr. Ngambwachi, will you be able to share the presentation? Are you comfortable with that? You can
Yes, I'm very comfortable, and the presentation is already with Mike. So
Oh,
I'm sure
wow.
Mike will share. And then let them remember one of the things we learned about soft skill is questioning. Learn to ask questions, not to assume. So if there is
Yeah.
anything you just need to know, I always say there is no silly or stupid question in life. No, it actually becomes when you stay with it. So just in case you have any question, even if you thought it's very minor, you don't know how much your question can save another soul. Or you know that scenario where you think about something and 10 of you are thinking about it, but all of you are fearing to raise your hand. So if there are good students there, ask any question. Ask any question.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Ngambwachi. I'm sure you've heard that. The presentation will be shared by Mr. Mike Seronkuma. I see a lot of thank yous here. Presentation was awesome. Thank you so much. Someone said they did not want you to stop. And I think the same applies to me and so many others. Learning to give constructive feedback stood out so much for me. That's innocent, very innocent. It's basically saying thank you. And I love that we are getting this kind of feedback from our applicants that shows that they have been impacted positively in a very positive way by your presentation, Mr. Ngambwachi. I'm really looking for a question in these so many thank yous. I'm not seeing.
Mariam, if I could support,
Yes.
there are questions that have come up, but the beauty is these questions are going to the secretariat. It can't be me to answer them. One is coming from Ntume Dennis, who is saying, um, um, Dennis saying, should we all be confident that all of us shall be called? I think that is a question to the secretariat. Then Ainamasko Anna Mary says, thank you for the presentation. Could you elaborate more about the recommendation from the company when they are given out and how we get them? I think that should also be another question going to the secretariat. Namale Shiba says, thank you for the presentation. Going forward into employment, us as young people, fresh graduates or new employees are often disrespected. Even though we are at our best behaviors, I request guidance to all of us on how to go about this in the event we are disrespected. Okay, I think I could answer into that. One is that Namale, I know we live in a world where some people despise other people. And so as fresh graduates, it's very possible to get into a workspace and you're bullied, just like bullying happens in school. And so you feel like some people talk low of you. But one of the things I remember in the sharing that you people were saying that what kind of environment you want to work in, one of you talked about a focused environment. Now, you as a trainee or you as an individual, stay focused. Stay focused and know what brought you. Yeah, someone has called you idiot. It's okay. Don't sweat over it. You know you're created in God's image. You know you're not an idiot. Like, stay put. Someone tells you things like you're just new here. You don't know how things are done. Don't lose your temper. And that's what I was talking about stress management and learning to be calm and patience. Keep your cool and then probably ask them questions like, I'm sorry, could you kindly guide me on how to do it? Like, let you be that person that even when someone disrespects you, they feel guilty based on how you respond to them. Someone disrespects you and calls you nothing, no, simply say, I'm very sorry. At times we say it not because you know you've done nothing, but you just say it because we talked about humility. You be humble and say, I'm very sorry. Yes, I understand I am new. Could you kindly guide me on how we do things here? Then this person who was busy showing you how they're important, and most of the time, let me tell you, people who are disrespectful to young people or to juniors or to people who have just joined the organizations, in most cases are not the best in those organizations. They are also a problem in the organization. So ask them to guide you. You will see how they will also fail at the same thing. And then they will lie low. They will finally get their space. Catherine is asking, how do you politely and professionally turn down a boss who's vibing you? That's a whole conversation that we can. I will allow Mike to share my details or my contacts so that some of these questions that come, someone can call and we talk through them, because it's a huge conversation. But how do you politely professionally turn down the boss who's vibing you? I can't have a general answer. It depends how they started vibing you. At times they are vibing you because of how you dress. You've come into the workspace. Your skirts are half the thighs, or your dresses are half the thighs. On top of being half the thighs, the slit is also there. So really, not to say that people should also be evil, but at times you're inviting bad behaviors around yourself. So first check yourself. How do I behave? How do I dress? Do I dress decently? Am I the person who comes in an office and flirts around? Am I the person throwing myself onto other people? When you discover that what we call personal check, 1-2-1-2, you check yourself, and you feel like you've checked yourself and you're very, very good and you're disciplined and you behave well, there are also bosses, Wambe, who see you and want to take advantage of you. I can tell you, if it is not in your powers to have a conversation with them that can lead to calmness, there's always a human resource manager in an organization. They can be a trusted person in an organization. And that's why you said, make friends when you enter an organization. Network. You can talk to someone who will guide you on who you can talk to. But on another note, it can be another conversation of how to manage such people. How do you go about collision with your colleagues or even bosses? Anthony, collision with your colleagues or bosses will always happen. It's what we call conflict. And in conflict, we add another word called management. It is about learning management. Conflict and management resolution is another big conversation that we can go into. But how do you manage collision? Most importantly, for you as an individual, stay right. Stay right, stay right, and do what is right. What is right will exonerate you. The challenge becomes that if you're also doing wrong, if you're not abiding by the rules and regulations of the company, the guidelines of the company, if they're telling you come on time and you come late, if they're saying dress well and you don't dress well, if they're asking for timelines on how to deliver and on when to deliver and you never handle work on timeline, it becomes very, very easy for you to collide with people. And there's a huge likelihood that you might become the biggest loser because they can easily use it against you. So stay right, stay put, do what is right. It will exonerate you. Thank you for the webinar. How is UNAPSEC protecting the graduates from being exploited by the member companies in form of low payments? I'm not from UNAPSEC, but let me say this. These conversations that are being given here or trainings that are sending into the workplace, remember they are recommending you. It is not about payment. And I think I talked about in my conversation. The salary bits are going to be discussed as individuals. But in case you get into an internship space and are not paid salary, please, 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 let not that drive you mad. These spaces are for you. There's what we call apprenticeship. Showcasing what you know and what you can do. That's how people get to hire you. So if you happen to go in an organization and for the meantime, they are not paying you, please, I talked about it in my presentation. Think about other valuables you get from that workplace. That you're meeting new people, that you're using their office, you're using their network, you're using their chairs, you're using their address, you're using their letterhead, you're using everything, you're networking. UNAPSEC is an organization that comes together, brings together so many different companies. Do good. There is another organization that can support you. There is an individual that can support you. Our moderator today on this call, Mariam, is an MD of a company in construction. Now you might meet her and you work with her, and probably at times some of you look to be in the same age with her, and then you treat her like any other human being. I mean, ordinarily. Yet you don't know that within her, she has the powers to hire and fire. So treat yourself in the utmost humble way you can and respect people in this network that you're meeting, because the person you sit in a taxi with, the person you are, moving into an office with, the person you just found in a restaurant, they could be the next person who hold the opportunity to hire you. And you'll not be hired for any other reason. You'll be hired for your manners and the value proposition you bring. But in terms of if you're hired and your salary is low, I think the Secretariat will also speak about that. That's not for me. How best can you deal with disappointment, Sheila? I mean, accept that first of all, life is a disappointment. I'll come from a Christian perspective. I mean, Jesus came here on earth to die for us on the cross. And for those who believe in other religions, I know you have so many examples you can use. But you see, the life on earth was a disappointment. Some betrayed him, some denied him, they crucified him, but he didn't lose track of his journey. I think what helps you to deal with disappointment is knowing that you gave in your best and knowing that the door has closed, another door could open for you. Every time a door closes, another door opens. When a disappointment comes in, tell yourself, this wasn't for me. Mine is coming. One of the things I can say loud is that young people, you tend to run away from God, from Allah, and from whoever you believe in. Please, as you grow older, wisdom comes from God. Wisdom comes from Allah. Love God, love Allah. Get yourself closer to them. I know this is one of the statements that I could say, and it sounds the most rubbishing statement. Like we are on a soft skills conversation that are employable or employability. What the hell is this person talking about saying God and Allah? Oh, darlings, there is so much favor and blessings that come by being in the spaces of the Creator. They will help you a lot in dealing with disappointment, frustrations, but it will give you hope. It will give you attitude of positivity and so much. All these are conversations that we can speak deeply into them. I just have one question observed from some of our colleagues that are already in the field. Mr. Samuel, talk about leadership, but can you please advise us on organizational politics? Badeus, organizational leadership, every organization has leadership and politics, and they are there because we are human beings and we are conflict, people. Not all organizational politics is bad. Some organizational politics is good and other is bad. I'll still say the same thing. Cut your cloth according to your size. When you come into an organization and you're new, just like you're coming in, please avoid cliques. Avoid cliques. Avoid worshiping certain people and subscribing to certain people. Read your guidelines very well. Read the human resource manual if you're given to it very well. You'll be given a human resource manual. Read it very well. Don't listen to other people in terms of what you're supposed to do. The organizations have management structures. You have a boss, you have a manager, you have an upline, you have a supervisor, you have a human resource manager. Seek guidance and wisdom from those two in terms of what you're supposed to do. Avoid things that look like cliques. That way you'll manage organizational politics. But like I said in one of the responses, stay right. Stay right. We end up in organizational politics if you're doing wrong things. You're late, you're ever late, so you want your boss to go and mediate on your behalf and lie. Then he goes and lies. Then lies and you're accepted. Now, because he has lied for you and then they tolerate you, then tomorrow he also tells you, come and go with me. Now, as a young lady, if you're found in so many mischievous things in the organization, and then your supervisor, who probably happens to be male, is the one defending you, then next day he starts telling you, meet me at hotel A and B. Meet me. Can you go out for dinner? Then you say, I don't want. I can't go for dinner with you, you're my boss. Then he starts acting weird. Why is he acting weird? Because he was defending you of your wrong things. And now he's taking advantage of your wrong things to manipulate you and exploit you. Stay right, stay pure, stay clean. It will save you a lot in managing politics. Another question from Zarango.
Mr. Nanache?
Yes, please.
Yes, before you proceed, I'd like to point out to our applicants that the questions that are directed towards the UNAPSEC Secretariat will be answered on their WhatsApp group. They are being noted by Mr. Mike Serunkuma as they are posted in the chat. So worry not. And given that this webinar was supposed to end at midday 30, and we talked about timekeeping, definitely want to lead by example. Of course, I do reckon that there's a lot to be discussed and a lot of knowledge to be picked. So I say let's give it up to 12:45, Mr. Ngambwachi, as we reply these questions. Then at 12:45, I'm going to call in our UNAPSEC president to give us the closing remarks. Yes,
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mariam, for the beautiful guidance you've given. And I will still say that some of the questions coming in here, I could say they are more personal. Some of them are out of experiences, and this platform that we are having here might not exhaust all of them. Like they have said, some will be answered in the INAPSEC WhatsApp group. Like I've said, if you have anything very, very burning, I'll also ask Mike to allow share my contact with you so that if it's very burning and we can talk through it. But also some of these questions you're asking are answered in your presentation. Probably when you receive a presentation and go deep and read through it, you will be able to find answers. Questions: how do you negotiate for your work pay as a graduate just penetrating the market? Know your value. Do market research. If you're coming in to do a job as a quality surveyor, there are hierarchies in an organization. If they say quality surveyors are earning, 1 million Ugandan shillings, please, just because we've said know your value, don't go saying, "May I want 10 million Ugandan shillings," which probably the MD is the one earning it. Do market research, understand the price variations, know that at least if they pay 1 million, if this organization is paying me 800K, it is okay. You can go with it. I will keep emphasizing, young people, I know you love money. I love money, but never put money first in work. If an organization is willing to say, come and work, we shall pay your transport, we shall give you meals, come and go on probation, even for 2 months. You're not getting any pay, not even an allowance. Talk to your family. Let them support you. Let friends support you for those 2 months. Find the way you can support yourself and work. It is those 2 months of probation that they have not paid you, that you dedicate yourself to work and be a better person, that the organization will say, we can't afford to lose peace. Let's give peace the money she's asking for. Many of you ask for money and the value proposition cannot be seen. You don't get paid because you've asked for money. You get paid because of the value you add on to the organization. You should be preoccupied, all of us, every day. What value do I add on to the organization? As a CEO of Faye Consult, I keep on asking myself, what value addition do I add on Faye Consult? Because if I don't add value to it, then I can't get paid. because Faye Consult will pay me based on the value I added onto it. And that's how you should see yourself as you start getting into the workforce. Focus on improving and adding value to yourself as you start. You will be shocked at how much and many opportunities will come to your space. My question is, how do you react to the other members within the company who give you orders on what you're to do? I talked about those things. You listen to your people that have been assigned to you as your supervisors, as your bosses. If your supervisor is the one mistreating you, there is a supervisor ahead, maybe a manager ahead of them. If it's something not serious, it's something you can take to a human resource. If it is something so serious, maybe ask colleagues in at work. Ask them, is this how this person behaves all the time? Is this... There are people who will know how to manage people in work. When you ask, when you make friends, when you seek to know, and some of these soft skills, we talked about them, things like asking. I talked about curiosity as a soft skill. Be curious to know how things happen. When you see something, don't rush to judge, don't rush to, take your time. Probably ask another individual in a friendly manner. Say, I don't know. No. Say, Samuel asked me to do this. Do you think I should do it? Where am I supposed to take orders from? Who decides where we're supposed to go? People will tell you. Don't go with a tone of, Wama, I've joined this team. I'm very new. This one has come telling me I should do this. Me, I don't want to do it because I was told to do this. Should I do it? You've already shared your opinion that you don't want to do it. Now, the next thing someone will say, why? If the person already said they don't want to do it, they'll tell you, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. And then you'll tell yourself, yeah, true. Me, Max, sure. I don't even understand how and that's how you start losing track. Your attitudes will take you to higher altitudes. Have strong attitude and positive attitude as you come into the workforce. It's also a space for growth. Like Mariam talked about in this preamble before these questions. She talked about growing. She talked about as you grow old and mature and in age and wisdom, you realize that there are some things you sweat for nothing because you get more knowledge. I've seen them. You look back and you say, why the first did I? Time has passed. Seek more guidance. Work you're getting into is to also help you grow. Some things are not coming to distract you. No, they are coming to test your patience, to test your vulnerability, to test your strength. Because look at all your questions that you're posting. Imagine one organization and an MD is at the top and has to respond to all of these things. You'll need calmness, you'll need patience, you'll find that you need all the soft skills we've talked about. And so the more you grow to become better in these soft skills, the more it will help you to become a better person. But I will insist in capital letters and boldly say, get yourself close to your Creator. Friends, wisdom is inherited from God and Allah. Whichever denomination you believe in, please be a strong, spiritually upright person. There is so much chaos you'll avoid when you walk in the light. This of integrity we're talking about, it is lack of a foundation. Religion plays a very huge foundation. And religion, not in terms of now bring it in terms of dividing people. No, your relationship with your Creator. My Muslim friends will tell you, they fast, and during their fasting, they bring themselves close to their Creator. They seek forgiveness, they seek understanding, they seek wisdom. Friends, religion and getting close to our Creator is morality. Some of these things you won't get them until you're in a space of getting better morality. Morals are not learned from fellow human beings. No, morality comes from our creator. Morals. You'll get wisdom, you'll get knowledge, you'll get patience. There are things we call fruits of the spirit. You can only get them if you know God. You can only get them if you know Allah. I know today this might not make sense. This might not make sense, mostly when we are young. But as you grow older, you will look back and remember this January and say, I understand why he said, have God, have Allah, have a creator with you. I know these are many questions. Many of them are speaking into the same line, but for purposes of time, I will ask that those which are burning, I know some of these can even be captured and within your WhatsApp group, they will be answered. I mean, Secretariat has able people. All those are professional, able people, and they will be able to answer into some of these questions that you've shared. Thank you very much. Back to you, Mariam.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Ngambwachi, on those very, very insightful words and discussions. Thank you so much for the wisdom you've shared with us, for taking the time to come and guide these fresh graduates and soon to be fresh graduates on the way forward in life, on their next step. Even those who actually, this is an opportunity every fresh graduate should have, just that with this graduate training program, we are really limited by numbers. So thank you very much, Mr. Samuel. And I'm sure just as I have picked a lot, they too have also picked a lot. And I would like to, at this juncture, to invite our UNAPSEC president. Actually, before I invite him, please, anyone, if your question hasn't been answered, please feel free to post it on the WhatsApp group. Mr. Mike is going to be able to take it from there. He has very good attention to detail, by the way, so I'm sure he hasn't missed out any of your questions. And the good part is that Mr. Samuel allowed for his contact to be shared. So each and every one of you will have a chance to at least further from this discussion, pick more knowledge from him and guidance as well. So at this juncture, allow me to invite Mr. James Wanolonya, who's the UNAPSEC president, to give us our closing remarks. Thank you very much. You're welcome, Mr. President. Mr. President, Mike, I hope you've unmuted Mr. President.
Thank you very much for the control of the meeting. Mariam, you've done us so well. I sincerely do appreciate how you've enabled us to all be very attentive, and you broke down the structure of the day, and it came out well. Samuel, you have done a fantastic job. I think you've made life easier for all of us, and especially for our young ones who are now getting ready for the marketplace. I think soft skills for employability in the 21st century saw justice in your communication. I am really, really proud of you, and I'm so thankful for the partnership that we have with you, and for being able to provide guidance for our young people. I do believe that you're getting into the marketplace with the necessary soft skills. All of our participants, I think at one point we were about 149 people that were on the call. And so I really, really thank you so much. Thank you, Mike, and the entire team at the Secretariat for making sure that this is organized, and for the short list of the people. I was just going through the listing, and I think it is really, really a great effort. So I really want to appreciate. I was just looking at what Samuel was saying, and I kind of felt that he was inspiring everyone to be addictive, such that when you get into the workplace, nobody would want to lose you eventually, because if you got what he shared with you and you have that as the software behind the program of your operations, I think everybody else will want to look at you, our graduates from the various disciplines that are here, to become the kind of persons that, you know, people would want to refer whatever challenges that the organization is having, because they see you as a problem solver, somebody who is focused, somebody who has a great personality, and you're going to be adding value to the organization besides what you have learned in terms of your competence area. So I thought that was very good. Let me just pick a few, some of the loose ends that perhaps could help you to theorize what Samuel has shared with us. And I thought there were just some 4 simple P's that you could work with. One is, what was the entire philosophy that Samuel was working with? And the second one was, what would be the component of your personality? How do you need to view you? And the third one is, what are the composition of practice? The composition of practice. And then the fourth one will be, what is the prospect? What will be the outcome of after you've done all of that? So it is that I wanted to just use it as tying the loose end, so that eventually you become completely addictive in the place of work that you're going to go into. What do I mean by being addictive? There's something I learned, you know, in terms of reverse psychology. And that is, if you look at the people who deal in drugs, there is a way that they tend to give the drugs for free until the prospect is addicted. So when the prospect is addicted, they will now ask for all that they gave for free for you to now pay. Now, that should be the mindset that you need to carry when you're going to the workplace. Don't go demanding for your rights first. Try to look at your roles and your responsibilities and serve them until people cannot be without you. And when they cannot be without you, then you can be able to now talk about your price. You can now be able to say, you know what, I just thought you could pay me this. And somebody will pay you when they know you're solving problems. So how do I break it into the philosophy? Number one is, you need to understand principles, guys. From what Samuel is saying, for principles to apply well, you need to break them down into the 3. You need to have ideas. Ideas are really philosophies. You should have your doctrines right. That's why he talked about be closer to God. Have the right ideas, the principle that govern life. You cannot work without laws. They are natural laws. They are divine laws. You need to understand them. And build strategies. Build strategies, how you're going to now pull out those ideas and turn them into strategies so that it can work for you. And then when you have done those 2, then you should then be able to act. If you act without the right strategies that is built on the wrong ideas, you can get a wrong result. So it's good to work out with the right principle. The second one was personality. What are the composition of your personality that can make you totally irresistible? I can tell you this. You just go check it anywhere. Have these 5 things that I'm going to tell you. You will find that anybody would want to work with you except for devils. The first one is be faithful. Be faithful. Whether sometimes life is very hard and sometimes you don't understand, be faithful. You know, there are people that will misunderstand you, yes. They can mislabel you, yes. They can say all kinds of things about you, yes. But there is also a bigger number that actually will observe and recognize your faithfulness. The other one is be available. I have heard Samuel say it again and again. Learn to be available. Don't leave before. it is time. Don't come when it is too late, until you've grown to the place where you can now see everything from your living room. At this particular point, you need to be experiential. You need to feel the work so that eventually you connect with the emotions of it. And tomorrow when you're going to talk about it, you are now coming from this place where you know I've been there, I've done that. So when I tell you, I understand it. So be available. The other one is be compatible. Samuel talked about that. Know how the group dynamics are, the work politics, and you need to understand the structures, how to receive instructions and how to relay them, how to implement them. Know how to be a friend. I have been hearing Samuel talk about that. And the other one is be teachable. Be teachable. Be teachable. There is so much to learn. You can never learn too much. There is always going to be something you need to know. Maybe the way things are done. Maybe the way the culture of the organization is. Maybe it's just about a certain kind of way to which certain things had been done before, and then the time is coming that they're transitioning from the previous approach. Now they're coming with a new approach. And so be teachable. Be teachable. Learn. AI is coming. It is going to make it even more difficult if you don't have the soft skills and you're just working about analysis and all of that. AI will do that for you, but AI will never have a soul. So you need to understand that. So don't even be threatened by it. It's just going to make your life a lot more easier. The other one is have a servant's heart. A servant's heart is really a phrase that has been popularized lately in terms of servant leadership. If you are a leader, you're a servant. If you're a servant, it's just a matter of time you will be a leader. I will just leave it at that. How about the practice? The practice. What are the components? I think I have been in various kinds of levels of the engineering field, and I specialize a lot more in contracts eventually. And one of the things that I have seen that most people don't see and understand immediately, whether you are still a laborer or whether you are a clerk of work or whether you are a surveyor, whether you are just a linesman or a project engineer, a project manager, or whether you are a director of a company or a procurement specialist or any of those areas, there's always going to be 6 areas that are very important for you to understand. One is understand your subject properly. Don't mix engineering issues with contract issues, because there is a link, but there is a distinction as well. Don't mix survey issues with matters of possibly just being able to understand environment and social matters. So you need to understand the subject you are dealing with. So compartmentalize. In principle, that's what it would be. The other bit is the why. Look at the objective. For me, it became very easy when I wrote it down as solved. Every time you go to a place, go with the mind that it is solved. Solve would be subject, objective, but also understand the leverage that you can work with. What is the legal provision around about the activity that you're going to be involved with? And then look at what kind of values you need to work with. Perhaps you could be right, but you don't need to be dead right and dead. You need to be right, but yet still compatible, and people can appreciate where you're coming from, and you will have the mind of pedagogy. You walk the people that you're with from what they know, and you take them to the unknown. It is very important that you know that, but also work with evidence. Don't just have a lot of presumptions and assumptions and conjectures and all of that. This is it's predominantly a science world. So it's good to work with evidence. Even when you're thinking of legalities, you will surely need evidences. You need appendices to your own letters. You need the data that backs out why you are saying that we needed to lay it at this level. It is so important that you know that. And then eventually you should have direction. After you've discussed everything else with everybody, make sure that you can be able to say, you know, after all is said and done, this is what we want to go towards, so that you have that at the back of your mind. And then what is the prospect? The prospect is you want to prosper and have good success. I remember a young man who told me some years back a statement that has stood with me for a very long time. And he just makes it very simple, and I want you to really appreciate that. He says success is the success of several successive successes. Simple, more like a rhyme, but I think it is very profound. That success is the success of several successive successes. It means whatever thing you find your hand to do, do it so well that you can be able to celebrate it and say, I would, if I was given the opportunity to do this over again, I will do it the way I did it. So that when you have done it so well in that one, then you get promoted to another level where you are given a different assignment. And in that assignment, you succeed in doing it so well. And that takes you to another assignment. That takes you to another assignment. And then eventually, when you are being successive in all those successes, then you become successful. So what is the conclusion I would give you? The point here would be that character, together with attitude, which I have heard Samuel talk about, and your competence and your association will lead to phenomenal results. And it is with that in the back of my mind that I want to wish you so well. And I pray that the rest of the questions that you've been able to ask, that some of them perhaps you didn't get the answers immediately, you will be able to find the secretary who will respond to you to the specifics on the way forward. But you can equally be able to get in touch with Samuel and sometimes generate those conversations, allow yourselves to be able to ask good questions. Your association is actually your worth. When you know the people that you're relating with are people that are of value, that is also the value that you're going to have. Sometimes you don't need to have money, you just need to have the right person in the right place in order for you to be able to have the right connections. So it is with that in mind that I bless you, and therefore I also declare that this webinar is formally closed. Thank you so much, and God bless you all. Over to you, Mariam.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Wise, very, very wise words those were. And I'm always happy when you're going to speak, because I know I'm going to leave richer in terms of knowledge. And I must say to these graduates that you have a very, very good opportunity, even before being placed with these companies, to hear from such great minds as these. Everything you have been told is something that is going to help you throughout your employment. Even those who wish to become company owners, still these things apply, even if you're the topmost boss. So thank you so much, Mr. President. Thank you for taking the time off to share your knowledge with these people, with all of us, and for attending this webinar. As earlier said, please continue this conversation on the WhatsApp group. Anything you feel you have, you need to know, or you need to elaborate more on, please continue the conversation on the WhatsApp group. And as Mr. President said, at this very moment, I would like to also add my voice and declare that this webinar is closed. Let's now shift to the WhatsApp group. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a good day.